For many of us, the local hotel plays an important part of our social life. A place to relax and enjoy some food, drink, and a little R&R. So, Glenn, tell me, is this part of your normal morning routine, delivering beer in the back of the horse and cart?
No, it can't be part of the normal routine, but on a lovely morning like this morning, it's a great tradition and really enjoyable.
Glenn Cooper and his famous brewing family have built a business on tradition, and you can often find his Clydesdale team making an early morning beer delivery in and around Adelaide.
Morning, fellas.
Morning, Paul.
G'day, Morgan. Good to see you, mate.
Nice to see you too.
Right, Paul.
Hey, Glenn, how you going, fellas?
Good to see you.
Come on inside, we'll have a cold beer or a coffee or something.
Paul Robson is the man behind the Archer Hotel in North Adelaide. It's an amazing example of a modern hotel-restaurant complex.
God, look at this. What a fantastic pub.
He understands intimately the difference between a modern city hotel and a classic bush pub.
I think in the bush, the pub's an extension of people's lounge rooms. It's where people are going to talk about their cattle, talk about their machinery, talk about their wives or their girlfriends or their missing husbands. It's the centrepiece, I guess, the cornerstone of the community.
No one knows more about beer than Glenn, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a more experienced pub man than Paul. While the delivery continued outside, I asked him about the difference between a city and a country publican.
The publican in the city, he's part of the community, I think. In the bush, he is the community. Yeah, he's the historian, he's the marriage counsellor, he's the judge, the lawmaker. He's an entertainer. He has to know people pretty intimately out there. He's the person people talk to when they've got problems. He's the person people talk to they want to celebrate. He's a bit of a jack of all trades.
Well, the only way to experience the Outback is to go and do it. So, boys, we're off after this beer.
Have a great trip, fellas.
Good on you, Paul. Thanks, mate.
We're off on a pub crawl with a difference, an expedition into the heart of Australia, where we'll discover just how pivotal a role the Outback pub plays in some of the most arid and isolated parts of the land. We'll meet some local legends, along with the people renowned for providing more than a coldie for their patrons. To make our adventure possible, we have a pilot as our designated driver, and we'll be travelling with our own beer expert, Glenn Cooper, whose family's been brewing beer for more than a century. So who better to lead us along the road less travelled and sniff out a few great yarns? Few places in the world are as isolated and remote as our first stop, Birdsville.
Birdsville's a very levelling experience. It doesn't really matter who you are, what you own, or what you do. Everybody is treated the same way.
This tiny Queensland town with a population of just 120 locals and 1 billion flies lies between the Simpson and Sturt Stony Deserts, 1,200 k's north of Adelaide and 1,600 k's west of Brisbane. The centrepiece of this community is a genuine Aussie icon. This is one of the most famous Outback pubs in all of Australia. Now, if you're a Catholic, you'll probably want to go see Vatican City at least once in your lifetime. Muslims take the pilgrimage to Mecca. But if you want to understand and experience Outback pub culture, you better get on up here to the Birdsville Hotel. So why, of all places, did you decide to call Birdsville home?
I don't think you ever planned to come to Birdsville. It just happens. And then you find lots of reasons not to leave.
Joe Laurie and Kim Ford have kept the legend of the Birdsville Hotel running for the last 8 years and have a unique appreciation of the travellers who drop in for a drink.
Most visitors who come to Birdsville have done a remarkable thing. They've moved out of their comfort zone and they've come to have a look at what most of Australia's all about.
We love the bush, and we don't have the bush at home.
We love the space. It's beautiful. You met a lot of funny people in the Outback bush, in these bush bars, and that's what we like.
We know many Outback pubs.
Smoking and drinking ruin us in Australia.
That's actually the big problem.
We'd like to think we're the centre of the community. Most people come here to either drown their sorrows or celebrate.
Frank, you lived in Birdsville all your life?
Well, more or less, yeah.
If you find yourself in the front bar of this historic hotel, one face you're almost guaranteed to see is that of Frank Booth.
Never left the town, yeah.
You never left the town?
Yeah, stayed one place, yeah. In case you get in trouble, yeah.
Frankie has been a cattleman in these parts for over 50 years, one of the last remaining original drovers, and he's respected by all.
Frank Booth is the king of this country. He knows this country better than any white man, any black man, Yellow man.
Frankie is such a local identity that he even has a permanent spot reserved at the end of the bar.
You reckon Birdsville Hotel's the best pub in Australia?
Well, it's the only pub I've been to.
It's the best then?
Yeah.
What's the strangest thing you've ever seen in a pub?
Slim Dusty rode the camel. Slim Dusty rode a camel in the bar here.
Into the pub?
He went in through that door without the window.
Slim Dusty rode a camel into the pub at
Into the pub here, mate. The Birdsville pub.
It seems everyone who visits Birdsville has a story to tell by the time they leave.
So you've played a game of cricket over here, have you?
Yes, I did, Morgan. They were short of a few players, so they asked me to fill in. Just after we started, an enormous dust storm came in. I couldn't even see the wicket, and the only thing that I could hear in the end was, "We're going to the pub, that's it." I walked off in the wrong direction down that way and sort of realised that the pub wasn't there.
Right.
We eventually found the watering hole.
Sniffed out the beer?
Yeah, sniffed out the beer, that's right.
Here we go. Come on round here and I'll tell you what it's all about and we'll get started.
Two of Birdsville's other attractions are the Working Museum and its tour guide, John Menzies.
And there's a bit of carbide there. When the water goes on that, makes the acetylene gas. That's the best light in the bush, easy to carry, no mantles to break.
John is one of the last remaining bush showmen. He's been collecting all sorts of weird and wonderful memorabilia of Outback culture for the last 20 years.
Is there a competitor to rival this kind of collection in Australia?
Well, not the way I do things. I don't know any other museum we actually get taken on a tour and see everything happen and get told about things. And yeah, no, most of them just walk in and wander around. They're just a static thing. A lot of different irons. Good one here, hatter's iron for doing the hats. A couple of travelling irons to take on holidays. I have gone to some of the big city museums and wondered what they're all about. They don't seem to do it right as far as I'm concerned, yeah. I suppose I could give them a bit of advice.
I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
The Birdsville Working Museum has attracted a lot of attention and may soon find itself in pride of place at a Gold Coast theme park.
What about news on the Bush Telegraph that you're about to up stumps and move to the coast?
A lot of talk. We've got to see what happens. Yeah.
Is that a possibility, though?
Oh, it is a possibility, yeah. If it goes to where it's going, millions of people will be able to see it. It'll be set up, it'll be there forever, and it'll still be a live show. But there's nothing signed or sealed yet at this stage.
When we return, the adventure continues as we take a cruise along a creek and find a family who open their home and hearts to travellers every day of the week.
You have breakfast, you have every meal with us. You don't sleep with us.
That's optional.
Well, I've had a few often.
Not an option.